So, welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into something, well, you probably do, like a zillion times a day without even really thinking about it. Writing professional emails. In English.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. This seemingly, super mundane task can actually be a huge deal for your career.
It really can.
Our sources actually point to some, wild data, right? Something like 70% of professionals admit they straight up judge competence based on, how good someone's emails are.
That's a big number.
Right. So let that sink in for a minute.
Yeah.
Our goal in this deep dive is to, kind of go beyond the basics, right? Give you guys some, really actionable strategies to write emails that are not only, polished and professional, but, genuinely sound like a real person wrote them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Ditch that robotic, overly formal thing, you know?
Right, yeah.
We're pulling insights today from a document actually called 8.pdf, specifically the section called How to Write Professional Emails in English Without Sounding Robotic.
Catchy title.
Right. So let's get straight into it.
Sounds good.
What's so interesting to me about, professional email communication is, this balance we all have to strike, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're aiming for clarity and efficiency, but we don't want to sacrifice that human connection.
Right.
And it's that first impression, right, which happens so fast, within seconds of someone opening your email, that really sets the stage for, all the interactions that follow.
I think that's a really good point.
Yeah.
That first impression, that subject line is...
Oh, yeah.
It's everything.
It's so important.
Yeah.
So let's break it down, right?
Yeah.
What are the, essential pieces of a good professional email?
Mm-hmm.
And, our source really emphasizes structure as, the foundation.
Okay.
It all starts with that, that crucial first step, the subject line.
Yeah.
Think about it. Think about your own inbox.
Yeah.
What makes you want to click on an email?
Right.
It's not something vague or boring,
No, definitely not.
Our source makes this, so clear, right? They compare a bad subject line meeting to a good one. Quick question about tomorrow's 3 p.m. marketing meeting.
Yeah. Huge difference.
Right,
Yeah.
night and day.
Exactly.
The good one, it gives you immediate context. It gives you a clear reason to open.
Totally. A well-crafted subject line is it's like a signpost.
Mm-hmm.
It instantly tells the reader, what's this email about?
Yeah.
And, why should I care? Why should I open it?
I like that, a signpost.
Yeah.
And you know what? The source goes on to talk about some, really subtle, but almost, psychological tactics.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that we can use, right? For example, hinting at urgency.
Okay.
So, subject line. Action needed. Project deadline moved to 6:15.
I see.
That, taps into our natural, fear of missing out.
Right.
Nobody wants to miss a deadline.
Exactly.
And then, or you could, spark curiosity with something like, an idea to boost our ROI by 20%.
Oh, I like that.
Right. I gotta know more.
Yeah.
And then even a simple thank you for your help on X, that kind of leverages the power of, positive reinforcement, but right from the get-go.
I love that.
Yeah. So it's before they even open the email, they're already feeling good.
Exactly.
So these are all smart angles to play with.
For sure.
But, on the flip side, our source also, warns us about what not to do.
Right.
And at the top of that list is, those spammy tactics,
Oh, yeah.
a million exclamation points.
The all caps.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's a no-go.
It just screams unprofessional, and it can actually, literally send your email straight to the junk folder, which is, the opposite of what we want.
The worst.
Right. So maintaining that credibility, that's, so key.
Yes.
And, those kinds of tactics, they can really, erode trust before someone's even opened your message.
100%.
So now that we've got the subject line down, let's move on to the greeting. How do we start the email?
Yeah.
And, our source gives some, pretty straightforward advice.
Okay.
For people, a simple hi first name is, the perfect balance of professional and friendly.
Yeah.
But if it's, a formal contact or someone you're emailing for the first time, dear Dr. Patel,
Yeah.
That maintains that respect. And this is important. The source really stresses that we should ditch those outdated salutations dear sir, madam.
Oh, yeah, I hate that.
It's 2024. Come on.
I know, right? It's who are you even talking to?
It's so impersonal.
Yeah, and it just feels so old-fashioned.
Exactly. So let's aim for something more direct and inclusive.
Agree.
It's those small choices that really signal you're aware and you're professional.
Yeah, it shows you care.
Okay, so let's dive into the, the meat of the email, the body.
Okay, the
The
body.
source breaks it down logically. Opening, middle, and closing.
Okay, makes sense.
So the opening. Key takeaway. Be direct.
Okay, I like that.
No need for, like, these long introductions or beating around the bush. Just get to the point.
Yeah, people appreciate that.
Exactly. So something like, I'm reaching out to clarify.
Mm-hmm.
Like, boom, you're setting the context right away.
Right.
You're respecting their time.
Right.
You're respecting their time.
So important.
You know, we're all busy.
We are.
So that efficiency is, like, so valuable.
It is. It shows respect for the other person's time, their workload, everything.
Okay, so then we get to the middle section.
Right.
And our source, highlights something super important.
Well.
The visual layout,
it's
like how the email actually looks.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, use bullet points instead of these big, dense paragraphs.
Yeah.
What stands out to you about that?
I mean, for me, it's all about readability, right?
Yes.
Like if I'm scanning my inbox or even just trying to quickly figure out what an email is about, those huge walls of text, man, they're just so off-putting.
They're intimidating.
Yeah, you just don't want to read them.
So bullet points, I mean, they're like little digestible chunks.
Yeah, it's like you're breaking it down for me.
Yeah.
So much easier to see, okay, what's the main point here?
Exactly.
What do you need from me?
Totally.
Easy.
Okay, and speaking of, what you need from someone, the closing our source, they're, super clear about this.
Okay.
You've got to end your email with a clear call to action.
Yeah.
What do you want the person to do?
Right.
Something like, could you confirm by EOD Friday?
I like that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's clear, there's no ambiguity, and it just keeps things moving.
Exactly.
Because without a clear next step, emails can get lost in the shuffle.
Right. Totally.
Or you need, a whole other email chain just to clarify.
Yeah, back and forth, back and forth.
And nobody wants that.
No.
So a specific request with a time frame, everyone's on the same page, projects move forward. It's beautiful.
I love a good system.
Me too.
All right, so we've made it to the sign-off.
Yes.
The final farewell.
Our source gives us a few options here, right?
Okay.
A spectrum from, warm, best regards to formal, sincerely, to, friendly thanks. I'm like, it's nice, right? Short and sweet.
Yeah.
But here's, the real pro tip.
Okay, yeah.
Our source says to, try to match the tone of the person who emailed you.
Oh, that's smart. Right.
If they're more casual, then you can relax your formality a bit in your reply, and vice versa.
I see. So you're kind of mirroring their style.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's subtle, but it's so effective.
It is.
It shows you're paying attention, and it helps to, build rapport,
For sure. You're speaking their language.
All right, so we've tackled structure.
Okay.
But there's this, huge misconception out there, this idea that professional emails have to sound like,
A robot wrote them.
Exactly. And our source, directly addresses this.
Okay, good.
They have this section called Tone Hacks. Formal as stiff.
I love that.
So good, right?
Yeah.
What's the, core message there for you?
I mean, it's that professionalism doesn't have to mean, stiff or impersonal language.
Yes.
In fact, that kind of language can actually create distance and make it harder to communicate clearly.
Totally.
It's about being respectful and clear, but still sounding like a human being.
100%.
Like you said, ditch the robot voice.
Yeah.
Bring in the human.
And they give this fantastic example in the source.
Okay.
Instead of saying, per your request, attached, please find the document.
Oh, I hate that.
It's so robotic, right?
It's so bad.
You could say, here's the document you asked for. Let me know if you need anything else.
Comes better.
Right.
It's night and day.
It's such a small change, but it makes a huge difference in how you come across.
Yeah, it just feels so much friendlier and more approachable. And the source, they also introduce these, magic words.
Oh, yeah, I love this part.
They're so helpful.
So helpful.
So it's phrases like, just checking in, I'd appreciate your thoughts on.
Yes.
When you get a chance.
They soften the request, right?
They do.
Or the follow-up.
Yeah.
It's not demanding. It's more polite and respectful of the other person's time.
Totally.
It's like you're saying, hey, we're in this together.
Exactly. It's collaboration, not a dictatorship.
And you're doing it all while still being concise and professional.
And not sounding like a robot.
No robots allowed.
All right. So I have to bring up this cultural note from the source.
Oh, yeah, this is interesting.
Because they point out that email formality can be, totally different across cultures.
It's so true.
Apparently, emails in the US and the UK tend to be way more informal than, say, in Germany or Japan. So why do you think this kind of cultural awareness is so important these days? Especially like, in the globalized world we live in.
I mean, it's crucial, right?
Yeah.
If you want to avoid misunderstandings and build strong working relationships with people from all over the world.
Exactly.
Because, what might be a totally normal professional email in one culture could be way too casual or even disrespectful in another.
Right.
So being mindful of these nuances, it shows that you have cultural intelligence.
It does. It shows you're paying attention and that you care.
So it's really about adapting your communication style to be respectful and effective.
I love that.
No matter who you're emailing.
All right, let's get practical.
Yes, let's do it.
Let's talk about some templates.
Okay.
Because our source provides some really great starting points for those common email situations.
Yes, I do.
So for following up on something, they suggest this. Hi, name. Just circling back on this. Could you confirm if you've had a chance to review? Thanks.
I like that one.
It's good, right?
It's gentle, but it's clear.
Yeah, it's not aggressive.
It acknowledges that the person might be busy, and it avoids being accusatory or pushy.
Right. Nobody likes to feel like they're being nagged.
No, for sure.
But you're still clearly stating, hey, I'm just checking in on this.
Yeah.
And thanks. At the end, that just adds a nice touch.
Yeah, keeps it friendly.
Okay, how about for those times when we have to say no to something?
Oh, that's a tough one.
It is, but the source actually has a great template for this, too.
Oh, good.
They suggest, I appreciate the offer. Unfortunately, I can't commit right now due to X. Let's reconnect next quarter.
Okay, break that down for me.
So it starts by acknowledging the offer, which is really important, right? It shows respect for the other person.
It does.
And then you clearly state that you can't commit, but without making excuses.
Right.
It's just simple. Due to X.
It's straightforward.
And then the key here is you offer a possibility for future engagement.
Yes. You keep that door open.
Yeah, you're saying, hey, maybe not right now, but let's talk later.
I like that.
It's just a really graceful and professional way to decline something.
And then what about when you have to apologize for something?
Oh, that's never fun.
No, but it happens.
It does.
So what does our source recommend?
They suggest this. Thanks for your patience while we resolve this. I'll update you by date.
Okay, I see what they're doing there.
It's all about setting a clear timeline, right?
Yeah. Why is that so important?
Because it builds trust and it manages expectations. By giving a specific time frame, you're showing the person that you're taking this seriously.
Right.
And that you're committed to resolving it.
You're not just leaving them hanging.
Exactly. And it just reinforces your professionalism even when things aren't going perfectly.
Yeah. I mean, transparency is key.
It is.
And so is proactive communication. And, the source mentions that there are over 50 more templates.
Oh, wow.
Linked in the show notes.
That's amazing.
So we'll be sure to include those for you guys.
Yes, definitely check those out.
Because there are templates for all sorts of situations.
Oh, helpful.
Okay, so we've talked about what to do. But now let's talk about what not to do.
The big mistakes to avoid.
Big no-nos.
Okay, hit me.
All right, first up, emojis.
Oh, this is a tricky one.
It is, right?
Yeah.
And the source is pretty clear.
Okay.
Avoid them in professional client emails. Unless, you have a very close informal relationship.
Right.
So why do you think they say that?
I mean, emojis are great for adding personality in, casual communication.
Yeah.
But in professional setting, especially with clients, it can be risky.
It can.
It can come across as unprofessional or even be misinterpreted.
Totally.
So it's usually safer to just stick to words.
Yeah, keep it simple.
Clear written language.
Avoid any potential for confusion. Okay, next mistake to avoid. Over-apologize.
Oh, yeah, I'm guilty of this.
We all do it.
It's so easy to fall into that trap.
So easy.
But the source makes a good point. Phrases like, sorry to bother you, can actually, weaken your message.
Yeah, you sound less confident.
Right.
So what's a better approach?
Just be direct, be confident.
Okay.
State your request or information clearly, respectfully, but without all the apologies.
Right, because your time is valuable.
Exactly.
And so is theirs.
So get to the point.
All right, and another trap to avoid, vagueness.
Okay.
Unclear calls to action.
Oh, yeah.
The source gives the example of, let's meet soon, What's wrong with that?
Right, it's just not specific enough.
Right.
It's hard for the other person to know what to do with that.
Yeah.
Like, what does soon even mean?
Exactly.
So instead of saying, let's meet soon, suggest specific times. Like, are you free Tuesday or Wednesday at 2 p.m. for a quick chat?
Yes, much better.
Give them something concrete.
It's so much easier for them to respond.
Exactly.
Okay, and finally, this one should go without saying, but apparently it needs to be said.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Do not use all caps.
Oh, yeah, that's like shouting.
It's like you're yelling at them through the email.
No one wants that.
So unprofessional.
Agreed.
Okay, so we've covered a ton of ground today.
We have.
And now we want to help you put all of this into practice, like right now.
Okay, I like this.
So here's your listener challenge.
I'm ready.
This is inspired by our source. Open your last work email.
Okay.
Find one sentence that you could make sound more natural or maybe a little clearer using the tips we've talked about today.
Okay.
And then rewrite it.
Simple as that.
And just notice the difference.
Yeah.
Like, how does it feel to read the new version?
I love that.
And we would love it if you guys would share your before and after examples.
Oh, yeah.
Using the hashtag #BetterEmail.
Let's see those transformations.
So to wrap things up today, remember this key takeaway. Effective professional emails, they're like a good handshake.
I like that analogy.
Right.
Yeah.
Firm, friendly, and they leave a lasting impression.
Memorable.
So keep practicing these techniques and you'll become known as like the clear communicator in your inbox.
That's the goal.
And here's a final thought for you guys.
Yeah.
Write to express, not to impress.
Oh, that's good.
Right.
Yeah.
So focus on genuine communication, clear communication.
Not trying to sound fancy.
No, just be yourself.
Be authentic.
And we hope you'll join us for our next deep dive where we'll be tackling another super crucial professional skill.
Okay, tell me more.
How to ace job interviews in English without freezing up.
Oh, that's a good one.
Right.
Yeah, that's something we all need help with.
We'll give you all the tips and tricks.
Can't wait.
So thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.
See you then.